like to welcome you all to today's webinar on the roles of the nodes in Austria, Denmark, Italy within AgrifoodTEF. My name is Marijke Hunning and I work at ILVO, the Flemish Research Institute for Agriculture, Fisheries and Food, and I'm the manager of the Belgian node within AgrifoodTEF. I will moderate today's session. We have put together an exciting program. We will discover how those nodes are organized, what services they offer, and how companies can get in touch with them. So next slide, please. So our speakers of today are Cornelis, representing the Austrian node. Then we will hear from Alea, who will tell us more about the Danish node. And finally, Eduardo is here to take us through the Italian node. We will start with a presentation from the three national nodes. This will be followed by an interactive Q&A session where you can ask questions to the speakers. So let's start with our first speaker, Cornelis, who will tell us more about the Austrian approach within AgrifoodTEF.
Yes, thank you very much, Marijke. It's my honor to start this webinar officially. Also, a warm welcome from my side. My name is Cornelius and I'm project member of AgrifoodTEF for the Austrian node. Please go to the next slide for beginning. Yes, I personally work for Josephinum Research and I'm involved in project communication, especially for online marketing and event marketing. And the Austrian node consists out of three main partners. On the left, Raunberg-Gumpenstein Research and Development, Josephinum Research, and FH Wiener Neustadt. Please, next slide. All three mentioned partners have certain focus areas. Raunberg-Gumpenstein, for example, is focusing mainly on livestock farming and grassland farming. Josephinum Research is the lead of the Austrian node and has its focus on precision farming, AI and robotics in agriculture, remote sensing, and arable farming. And FH Wiener Neustadt brings in all the needed engineering expertise. Next slide, please. Yes, to be able to offer our customers and partners a wide range of services, you need certain physical and digital infrastructure for sure. Therefore, we can offer, for example, test benches for machineries and components, comprehensive test equipment for field tests, research and test stables, and AI and robotics test fields. For example, on the picture on the right side, you can see our test fields at Josephinum Research. At those test fields, we do different tests with field robots and also different plant sorts, and test, for example, the vegetation throughout the whole year. Next, please. As I already have mentioned on the first slide, Raunberg-Gumpenstein specializes on livestock farming. Therefore, we can offer research barns, especially for cows, cattle, sheep, and so on. And we also have analytic labs where we do analysis of meat, water, soil, or manure, for example. And we also have measurement equipment for gas, climate, and thermography. Next one, please. One interesting point about our test fields is that we, as an Austrian node, have a network of partners and pilot farms all over Austria. So we can do tests under different circumstances in terms of weather, soil, plants, and so on. Therefore, we have AI and robotic test fields and research and test stables. Next, please. There you can see vision systems like 3D cameras for soil measurements or image processing methods for soil surface are part of our daily business, I would say. And for certain tests, we also use multispectral drones and motion analyzers, especially for the alpine robotics, which, as you maybe know, is an important topic, especially in Austria and the alpine regions. In the next slide, we will go on with the digital infrastructure we can offer our customers or project partners. In the past, we have created digital infrastructure for remote monitoring and remote dataset creation. We have different image datasets, for example, for wheat, maize, soybean, crops, and also virtual environment for image rendering, which became more and more interesting in the past years. And one service that especially became more and more interesting are also our trained AI models for livestock and arable farming. So what services can we as an Austrian node offer? On this slide, you can see a small overview of the services of the Austrian node. But at this point, it is important to say that we also can offer totally customized services. We are specialized in physical testing, for example, of robotic solutions, sensors, and drones, virtual testing of algorithms, performance evaluation of prototypes, AI model training, data analysis, provision of data sets, just to mention a few examples. On the next slide, I have three specific examples for you to get a better understanding of what we exactly do or what a service example can be. Those are tests or use cases that we have done in the past for our customers. The first use case is the testing of a spot spraying performance, where we have tested a spot spraying system under real-world conditions. We also do a lot of usability and user experience testing, where we evaluate the physical components and the user interface of different products. We are also for sure experienced in the testing of weeding performance, where we evaluate the performance of your AI-based weeding systems. So on the next slide, what is the process for a firm during an AgrifoodTEF project with the Austrian node? In general, the process that is shown here is quite similar to other nodes, I would say. At the first stage, we clarify what the customer exactly needs, and if we have the resources and the know-how to fulfill the customer needs, or if not, so if another node can fulfill the service. And after the service is planned, time frame, location, resources needed, and so on. And after the service execution, the feedback is collected, and this is a very important point for us for sure, because just through that we can get better every day. And on the last slide, I want to say, to summarize, it can be said that the Austrian node is specialized in advanced AI and robotic solution with a focus on organic farming, grassland and alpine farming. And with that, I want to say thank you for listening to my short presentation and want to give on to my colleagues. And at the end, we still have some time left to ask some questions. And also, it would be good if you could follow us on social media to stay updated on the project, especially on LinkedIn. We have a general LinkedIn account for the whole AgrifoodTEF project, and the separate nodes also have their own LinkedIn channel. Ours is called AgrifoodTEF Austria. So I would welcome it if you could give us a follow. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Ria Scovel, and I am working for Danish Technological Institute, or DTI. I have a master's in technology-based business development, which bridges the technical and the business worlds. In the AgriFood project, I share the internal project leadership internally at DTI. So that's mostly my role. At DTI, we have a wide variety of expertise ranging from robots to field trials to recording cows to see if they are thriving or not. In the center I'm a part of, you can see the various different activities on the slide, where we focus very much on aerial farming. However, this is only a taste of the various different activities that we have. We have 3 different centers participating that are capable of testing and validating technologies in all the various different agriculture and food sectors. Next slide. DTI's role is to strengthen the business sector relationship with the business sector and support them in any kind of development and testing and validation of various different technical areas. We support in AI and robotic development, and we have also supported in AI and for testing and validation. We have provided expert services and tailored services. Yes. We have a wide variety of infrastructure ranging from drones to cameras to sensors that can be able to test the VOCs in real time in the air. Everything from climate action to spot spraying and pretty much anywhere in between. We also have some various different robot services that we can also provide our infrastructure. And we also have different access to farmer stalls and barns and whatnot for livestock. Next. Currently, we joined the project about 4 or 5, 6 months ago. So we are one of the new people in AgrifoodTEF, and we have currently 10 services that are on the AgriFood website. We have kept them very surfacey because we like to focus a lot on what the company's actually needs are, what the pains and challenges the company is actually having, and then build the service based on what the company requires. From the AgrifoodTEF side, it requires that the company has something to do with agriculture or food processing, is in AI or has some technology that they're building that has to do with AI and robots and some type of test and validation of said technology. And we have a wide variety of experts that can help test your various different AI or robot technologies or the companies. Next. Just to give you a couple of examples of what we have done in the past, we have worked with all different types of precision spraying maps. So this can be both from fertilizer to pesticides to fungicides, herbicides, whatever chemical or plant care product that you want to put on it. Also bio solutions, biofungicides, biopesticides we have also tested in various different methods. Yeah, so these are examples of the various different maps and what we have done with that. Next. Here's an example of a spot spraying test where we have the thistle heat map, and then we could see exactly where it has been applied from the spot sprayer based on what the map said, and then also testing it against what the actual color that was sprayed onto the field. So it gave a good relationship to see, okay, what was actually there and what is there in real. Next. We've also done some microspot application tests with a robotic company called FarmDroid out of Denmark, where you can see them spraying the actual weed instead of spraying the entire field. Next. Also done quite a bit of work flying with drones to be able to count how many wheat ears there are in a given field. This has been in collaboration with some of the field trial work that we've done, but developing a deep learning model to be able to count how many ears of corn there are in a field, and then manually counting them in order to be able to validate the model for precision and accuracy. Next. This is an example of testing to see how accurate a robot or an arm, weed arm was to do intra-row weeding, to see how close it got to the crop and how much a room around the crop it would get when mechanically intra-row weeding in a farmer's field. Next. We've also done various different robots tests, everything from safety to see if a robot was driving fast and then stops suddenly because there's a safety issue like a person or an obstacle in the way. How fast will the robot brake, and does it impact the person so much that it's actually more or less against the safety standards? Various different other safety tests, C marking support, hazard assessment based on the C marking and the machinery directive, precision driving test, AB line import and compatibility test. If you have AB lines from a tractor and import it into a robot's driving route planning software, how does the AB line from the tractor impact the driving with the robot? Is it compatible or does it not function as expected? Testing for adoption of the real world farming conditions. Just because you have something that drives around the field does not necessarily mean that it's agronomically viable. Does it impact the crop in negative ways that aren't seen? Next. The journey of the firm, I've simplified it a little bit, is we take some kind of initial contact. Sometimes we already know the company, sometimes we don't. We like to sit down and explore what their pains, challenges, problems are, what kind of issues are they facing, difficulties, and see if we can match up what we can do. If it fits inside of the AgrifoodTEF framework, then we see, is this agriculture? Is this AI robot? Is this testing and validation? And then we like to focus on higher level TRL levels because they bring more value to when you actually test and validate to the commercial release of the robot. And is there any other possible collaboration possibilities? And if it meets this checklist, then we can work with them in the AgrifoodTEF regime. Next. Yeah, so please contact us. Again, we also have a LinkedIn AgrifoodTEF Denmark. If you're interested in collaboration, that would be really great. Thank you. And now we go to the Italian node.
Hello, everyone. I'm Edoardo Corona. I'm from FBK, Fondazione Bruno Kessler, which is the coordinator at the European level for the whole AgrifoodTEF project, and I'm the project manager. Next slide. In particular, focusing on the Italian node. It's composed by Fondazione Bruno Kessler and Fondazione Edmund Mack, FEM, which are both in Trento and focus on AI and agronomic competences and facilities. Then we have Polimi and Unimi, both universities in Milan, which are both on AI and robotics benchmarking and other agricultural testing, especially Unimi. Then recently we were joined by CREA, which is a research institute in the northern Italy, which focus on which has a big test track and focus on larger machinery and robots and this kind of tests. Then we have the University of Naples, which has competence on the specific agricultural products of the Mediterranean. And then lastly, we have Trust IT, which is hosting today's webinars, and it's our communication partner for the whole project, but they don't provide services. Next slide. And as we say, we have the expertise of the Italian node I think are much more variegated and differentiated between compared to the others that presented today. We do a lot of stuff from different universities. So as we said, we have expertise in we have fields for winemaking and apple farming in Trentino that are and other facilities related to that. Then in Milan we have Air Lab, which is an advanced laboratory for robotics and robotics testing, which is owned by Polimi. Then we have Unibi and University of Naples, which both collaborates with farms around their territory, where they can do specific testing on agricultural testing and so on in field. And they also have laboratories for other type of testings. And finally, we have, as I just said, CREA's test track, which is a large area of various actors where they can test large tractors and machinery, similar to what Alea was saying for the Danish node. We can do similar testing of safety, geofencing, certifications that can be done there. Also automated driving, it's very large and can be, they can simulate various different situations in there. Next slide. Then given that we have a few different types of services, we have validation of AI solutions and computer vision based services. These are both done mostly by FBK, Fondazione Bruno Kessler, and Polimi Milan. There are various different services between inside these boxes, but in order not to complicate stuff, we kept it very general. Then we have benchmarking of robotics, which is mostly the expertise of Polimi, as we said, with their Air Lab laboratory. Then we have a lot of field testing facilities for all kinds of testing, as I said, automated driving certification and so on, which can be done across all of our partners. And then, as I said, we focus on made in Italy and agri-food quality and machinery as a general focus of our services. These are a few companies that we worked with, as I said, and now next slide, I will focus on the example from GeoInference, which was one of the first services that we did as FBK. We took this solution, which was for counting and measuring apples in order to monitor their growth on the field. And we validated it, we assessed their performance, we helped them solve various bottlenecks in their software to trim it down and being able to run it on the field, on the robot, instead of on the cloud. And yeah, that's it. Basically, we were able, as we said before, to bring it to the market and to help them achieve marketability for that solution. And basically, the process is very similar to what the Austrian and Danish node presented. Some key difference between the various nodes is that compared to others, instead of de minimis, we use Article 27 and 28 of GBER in order to achieve funding. As we said, SMEs can get, in our case, 100% discount of their services, while non-SMEs range from a discount of 30% up to 80%, depending on the size and other factors. And we want to stress always that it is a simple process to achieve it. There are a few documents, but the registration of the state aid is done by FPK for the Italian node. Therefore, the company doesn't have to deal with that. And in the case of the 100% discount, they don't have to anticipate any money. They don't spend anything. They only receive the service. And the payment arrives directly to FPK from the co-founders. And moving on, this is, as we said, we are specialized in AI robotics solution, focused on organic farming, grassland alpine farming, and we focus especially on smaller companies and SMEs. Here you can see Raffaele is the coordinator for the whole project and for the Italian node, and you can see also his contact. Like the others, we have a specific LinkedIn page, but you can also follow the general AgrifoodTEF page on LinkedIn and the other social media. And here you can see again our partners, which are FPK, University of Naples, CREA, Fondazione MAC, and University of Milan, Polytechnic of Milan, and Trust IT. Thank you for your attention.
So thank you, Cornelis, Alea, and Eduardo, for your interesting and engaging presentations. So you can visit our website. So you just have to scan the QR code, and then you can find out more about AgrifoodTEF. We would also like to invite you on our next webinar that will take place on the 14th of March. Here you will discover the deeper insights of the French, Polish, and Netherlands Dutch note. Now it's time to go deeper into your. Okay, yeah, you can go first to the next slide. That's fine. So at this point, I do not see any questions in the chat. So, but if you have questions, please add them in the chat or raise your hands. To improve our services, our webinars that we provide, we would like to have to ask you to fill in the survey. So you can also scan the QR code. Your input will help us to provide future sessions on the technologies that are used within our services and to improve our webinars as well.
So we know that we're a lot of information, and I really would recommend maybe really visit the website. There we have a service catalog of all the services of the nodes, and just click through it, and there you get a good picture of what we are exactly doing, or what many more services can be of our nodes. We've just presented a few ones, and there are also many services of other countries that weren't presented today. So there you get good inspiration at the service catalog.
Okay, thank you, Cornelis. So yeah, I got a private question. So if I'm not from Italy, Denmark, or Austria, can I get support from your country as well to get a TEF service? I'm not sure who wants to answer that.
I can answer that really fast. Yes, you can. The majority of the different project participants are able to help you out. There are some that have issues with cross borders, but the majority of them can. So just contact the project participant on the website that you're interested in working with, and they can let you know whether or not they're allowed to, because of governmental regulations, national governmental regulations, or yeah, and then you can move from there. But just visit the website and go to the contact us, and then you can see the different people who you can contact.
Another question is the process to receive discount always the same, even though I'm not from Austria, Denmark, or Italy?
I can answer that too if you want. No, it's not. It's individual to every single participant. Each one has a different way, and each one is allowed to do it differently. So please contact the person that you're willing to wanting to work with, and of course you are more than willing to, you are allowed to get offers from several partners if you so wish. So yes.
Okay, thank you. Another question is, will those training materials will be accessible online? Yes, of course, they will be added online. You will find also the video of this webinar online, and also the presentations will be put online. Yeah.
Maybe what's also interesting, there are already some success stories of completed services for customers on the website. And in the next few weeks or months, there will come some more success story regularly. Most of them were also online. And there you can also get a good picture of what was done in detail, really. Yes.
Okay, many thanks for your interesting questions, and thanks to our speakers. I hope this webinar provided valuable information. If you have further questions or you would like to collaborate with any of the nodes, please feel free to reach out. And yeah, of course, with the link to the website, but you can share again the link to the survey, because your feedback would be highly appreciated. And hopefully we see each other on the next webinar on the 14th of March.
Thank you very much all for attending.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.